Aw, dang, dude. What's up, man? Long time no see, man. You down for a duel? Oh, what's up, dude? Yeah, man, always. RPS to see who goes first. I got you, bro. I'll start off. I'm gonna start off by activating Speedroid Marble Machine. And then I'm gonna activate Permapal Celestial Magician. I know it's been a minute since you played, but the monsters go in the main monster zone, bro. So stupid. Oh, dude, no, these are pendulum monsters, man. They go in the pendulum zones. They even have, like, special pendulum effects. Here, check it out. You know what, man? Never mind. I don't want to play. No, it's okay. You got it, bro. What is going on, guys? Today we're gonna be talking about pendulum monsters. It's probably one of the most divisive mechanics of Yu-Gi-Oh! The pendulum monsters was pretty much around the time where a lot of people decided to quit Yu-Gi-Oh! And I kind of don't blame them. I mean, look at the effects of some of these pendulum monsters. They have like 2 effects and they're like super long. And the Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of notorious for having a lot of like long and crazy card text. And pendulums definitely make sure that Yu-Gi-Oh! Keeps that stereotype alive. So what exactly are pendulum monsters? Are they monsters? Are they spells? Yes. Let's talk about it. So pendulum monsters are basically monsters that are also treated as spells, and you can actually activate them in one of 2 special zones called pendulum zones. One thing to note about pendulum monsters is they do have the pendulum scales, which will tell you basically what the scale number is when it's in either the left zone or the right zone. They also will have separate effects as a pendulum effect and a separate effect as a monster effect. They can be normal summon just like normal monsters, or you can activate them in the pendulum zone. When they're in the pendulum zone, they get the pendulum effect, and when they're in the monster zone, that's when they have the regular monster effect. One thing to note is that you cannot set pendulum monsters in the pendulum zone. They have to be activated, but you can set them in the main monster zone. A pendulum monster in the pendulum zone is treated just like a spell card. So for example, if your opponent activates infinite impermanence in this column, but when it was set, then this effect would still be negated because it is considered a spell card, as well as you can destroy them with cards like Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, etc. Pendulum monsters are still considered to be monsters whenever they are not on the field. So for example, if they're in the deck, if they're in the graveyard, etc., they are still considered to be monsters. So you can still search them with cards that would search for monster cards. One interesting mechanic about pendulum monsters is that if they are destroyed or leave the field, they get sent to the extra deck, the face up. However, that is only if they have left the field. Otherwise, they get sent to the graveyard just like regular monster cards. Now let's talk about pendulum summoning. Once per turn, you can pendulum summon using the 2 cards that you have in the pendulum zones. You can pendulum summon just by declaring that you are pendulum summoning. And how that works is that you can summon monsters either from your hand or from your extra deck face up that have a level or rank that is in between the 2 scales that you have active in your pendulum zones. So for example, Speedroid Marble Machine has a left pendulum scale of 1, and then Performapal Celestial Magician has a right pendulum scale of 8. So therefore you can special summon any monsters that have a rank or level of 2 through 7, because it cannot include the pendulum scale. So for example, if we were to pendulum summon, we get to pendulum summon Speedroid Hexasaucer. However, anytime you special summon from the extra deck, you still have to summon it either in an extra monster zone or in a zone that a link monster points to. So this would have to get special summoned here. And then you can summon, like for example, this Ash Blossom anywhere you would like because it's just a regular monster. One thing to note is that this is also an inherent special summon. So as mentioned before, cards such as Solemn Judgment, Warning, etc. can negate these summons and destroy all the cards that you would summon. One thing to note as well is that if there is, for example, some type of like floodgate card or something that would specify that cards get banished instead of going to the graveyard or anything like that, that would override the mechanic that pendulum monsters get sent to the extra deck when left from the field, and so they would still get banished. One thing to note about pendulum monsters is that there are different types of pendulum monsters, such as fusion, XZ, synchro pendulum monsters, and with those behave just like regular fusion, XZs, and synchro monsters, where they stay face down in the extra deck until summoned, and then once they leave the field, then they are placed on top of the extra deck in face up position, Also, since you can't play them like a regular card from your hand to activate in like the Pendulum Zone, they will tend to have effects that will place them in the Pendulum Zone if you choose to. That's gonna pretty much cover it for Pendulum monsters. Personally, it's not really one of my favorite mechanics, and I feel like it's a little bit overcomplicated for no reason. Maybe in the future they will build on it some more, but that's pretty much it. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and have a good one.
Can you turn the heater on? It's not recognizing my finger again.
Are you sure you're not a ghost?
I might be.